Okay, we're going to start now on Unit 2. This unit is about inequalities, and for the most part, inequalities are just like your equalities, like we were doing in Unit 1, solving equalities. So, just about everything works exactly the same. We're on the first page of Unit 2, and right at the top it says we solve inequalities basically exactly the same way as we solve equations, except for two main differences. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, okay, so you got to remember this, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, what you do is you actually have to switch the inequality sign, and I'll show you some examples of that as we go along. Okay, so for the most part though, everything is exactly the same. So they start out by giving us this problem. We have the 6 plus 5y, and we have the symbol greater than. Okay, so whichever side faces to the left, that's the way you say it. So just like we read in English, we read left to right. So because it's facing to the left is open, so that's going to be greater than 21. So 6 plus 5y is greater than 21. And now you could really solve this problem just like you were doing in equality, right? So the first thing we have to do is we have to get rid of this 6, bring it to the other side. And then we got 5y is greater than 15. And now we got to divide by 5 to get rid of that 5 on both sides. Now, we're dividing here, but because we're dividing only by a positive, we do not have to flip the sign. So we end up with y is greater than 3. Okay, and so that's how you say the answer. Y is greater than 3. So any number greater than 3 will make this statement true. Okay, so you could pick any number above 3, plug it back into that original equation, and it would work. So like if we picked 4 even, 6 plus 5 times 4 is greater than 21. So we have 5 times 4 is 20, plus 6 is 26, and that's greater than 21, so that makes it true. Alright, so that's basically what you're doing here, is you're trying to figure out how exactly what number can fit into these equations. Alright, let's flip it over. We'll keep on going here. So the next example we have negative 7x plus 4 is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 16. Okay, and we're going to solve this just like we would normally solve an equation, right? Okay, so I would start off by bringing the 4 over, so let's go minus 4. And you end up with negative 7x is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 12. And then we have to bring the 4x, the negative 4x over, so we do plus 4x on both sides. So you end up with negative 3x is less than or equal to 12. Alright, so now we got to get rid of this negative 3. So we're going to divide by negative 3 on both sides. And now that we're dividing by a negative, we have to flip that sign. So we got x, then now we flip it. So we got x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, so any number greater than or equal to negative 4. So that means negative 4 would also be an answer. Okay. There you go. Alright, so let's go on to the next. So we have 17 minus 5y is less than 8y minus 9. Okay, same idea. How about we bring the 8y over first? So we subtract 8y from both sides. Oops. Okay, and then we have 17 minus 13y is less than negative 9. And then we're going to subtract 17 from both sides. So you get negative 13y is less than negative 26. And now we divide by negative 13 again. So when you divide by negative 13, we flip the sign, don't forget. So y is greater than negative 26 divided by negative 13 is going to be positive 2. So any number greater than 2 is going to be your solution there. All right, so if you flip the page over, right at the top we have a bunch of try these. You got 3 of them. Pause the video and give those a shot. All right, so let's take a look at the first try this. 7 minus 4x is less than 1. Okay, so we're going to bring the numbers over. So we got minus 7. Okay, we end up with negative 4x is less than negative 6. We divide by that negative 4. And what do you do when you divide by negative? That's right, we flip the sign. So x is greater than, that's going to be positive 6 over 4, which you should always reduce. So when you reduce it, you get x is greater than 3 over 2. Okay, next one. Let's keep on going here. We have 13a plus 5 is greater than or equal to 12a plus 4. Oh, I'm going to run out of space here. Let me move it over just a little bit. And I'll blow it back up. Alright, there we go. So we're going to solve. Let's bring the 12a over. That'll make it a positive and take us right down to the a. So minus 12a on both sides. And we're left with just 1a, so we can just put a. A plus 5 is greater than or equal to 4. We're going to subtract that 5 from both sides. We do not switch the sign because we're not dividing or multiplying. So we have a is greater than or equal to negative 1. Alright, we are moving right along. Let's get this last one done. I'm just going to slide it over again. Alright, and we have negative 4m minus 4 greater than 8 plus 2m. Now, I know a lot of times people like to stick with the positive numbers for the variables, so you'd want to like bring the negative 4 over to the right side. I will tell you, it's a little easier when you get to the graphing part if you keep the variable on the left side, so you're used to saying the variable first. It's not going to kill you if you go the other way. You just have to remember exactly what you're doing here. So I'm going to bring the 2m over. So I'm going to do minus 2m because it's a little easier to have the variable on the left side. So we end up with negative 6m minus 4 greater than 8. We add 4 to both sides. You end up with negative 6m greater than 12. Then we divide by negative 6 on both sides. And since we are dividing by negative 6, hopefully you remembered to flip your sign. And we have negative 2. So m is going to be any number less than negative 2. So hopefully you have some examples of what less than negative 2 would be. That would be like negative 4, negative 6, so forth, even negative 3. Alright, so that's the first little part. Hopefully you got that. If not, rewind it back, check it out again.